I've come across thousands and thousands of tattoos as I study them, but these are some of the most unique tattoos I've ever seen. Before we start, I want to give a quick shout out to my partner CoCreate, which is this incredible tattoo marketplace where you can find all the world's greatest artists, and some of them you can book with directly. So as I've been documenting, I've been archiving all the world's most talented artists into one list, and I started working with CoCreate, and they integrated that list onto their website. So it makes it super easy for you to go through and filter by style and location to hopefully find your dream tattoo artist somewhere in the world. All right, let's get into it. So I have been studying and documenting tattoos for a couple years now, and I've come across thousands and thousands of talented tattoo artists across the planet. So many different styles, so many different concepts, and every day I'm mind blown by a different artist who's just creating something incredible. But amongst all these artists, there's a few of them that just stand out because of how innovative they are, and they're starting to create things you would have never guessed possible on the skin. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's start with Matt Rule. Matt Rule is a tattoo artist originally from Paris, France, and he tattoos in New York, Paris, and Los Angeles. Matt Rule has been tattooing for quite some time. He's been doing traditional tattoos, and then he started doing realism, and then at one point he came up with this idea. He's like, what if I blend those two styles together? So that turned into his creative concept of taking black and gray realism and contrasting it with cartoons. And it's so cool, and it's endless the things he can come up with, because he starts with one of the subjects and then he's like, all right, let's come up with something creative to complement. And the sharp contrast between the black and gray and the colors is what just makes them pop. If I had to choose two of my favorites, I would definitely go with the Alice in Wonderland with the tab of acid, or the Sleeping Beauty. Then we got Duda, the man who pioneered the patch tattoo. And if you don't know what a patch tattoo is, it's where you tattoo a patch onto the skin and it looks like it's sewn on there. It's insane. So Duda came up with this idea many years ago when he was in Brazil. He's now based in Barcelona, and he opened up his own studio called the Patch Factory. And over the years, he's just perfected his craft so much with the shadow underneath to give it that three-dimensional effect, the details and the lines, the little frayed strings that are coming off of it. And some of them he even has like peeled back, so it looks like it's getting pulled off the skin. The creativity and execution is... Then we got Amanda Graves, who revolutionized the glitter tattoo. If you haven't checked it out yet, my first documentary that I created is on my YouTube channel, and I filmed it with Amanda Graves. I started making full-length documentaries with the most amazing and unique tattoo artists on the planet, so you can learn about their story, the culture where they live, and more about their artwork. So definitely go check it out. So Amanda took glitter tattoos to a whole new level by making them realistic. So after being inspired by Lisa Frank and competitive cheerleading, Amanda started experimenting with these glitter tattoos. So she realized that the smaller the dots are and the more she added, as well as a bigger variety in the color palette, she was able to achieve this iridescent, sparkling look on the body. And I saw them in person, and obviously they don't like sparkle and whatever, but when you look at it on the skin, you're like, holy shit, that's glitter. This is Daniel Gulliver, also known as Gully, and he came up with this concept of embossed, debossed tattoos. So for quite some time, he was doing lettering tattoos that had this three-dimensional effect, and then some of them were embossed, but then he came up with the debossed, which is the opposite of embossed, and it's indented into the skin. So over time, he has mastered the shadow that is necessary to be casted over the edge to make it look like the design is carved out of the skin. And then of course the light on the other side and highlighted with a little bit of white, but it's such a neat concept. And the designs are endless. I've seen him do small ones, and he's starting to experiment with large scale ones, so I can't even imagine what like a whole back mural would look like that. We're about halfway through right now, and I know that was a lot to absorb. Pick up your jaw off the floor, because we got a couple more, and it's just gonna keep getting more crazy. So these are paper cut tattoos. If you don't know what paper cutting is, I'm sure you've seen it before, but it's where you get different pieces of paper and you cut them out into shapes, and then you layer it to make it look like the seams are behind each other. It has a rich history in many different cultures, like the Chinese, Mexican, and Japanese. This is Zoonmo, who's a tattoo artist based out of South Korea, and let me Can tell you something. The South Koreans and their tattoo game, insane. Every day I come across a different South Korean who's coming up with something I've never seen before on skin. It's insane. But Zoonmo decided to take this concept and turn it into tattoos, and it looks so cool on the skin. I love these so much, and you can see each of the layers because he understands the shadows necessary to separate them, and I also love how saturated and vibrant the colors are. The Ratatouille, the Pokemon, the Star Wars references, I love them all. And while we're on the topic of Pokemon, consider this. Pokemon, origami, tattoos. Are you kidding me? That's so cool. I came across these a couple months ago and I immediately knew. I was like, I need to make a video for them. But this is Chiara, who's a tattoo artist based in Italy, and she started making these Pokemon tattoos, but they were shaped like origami. And what's cool about them is she's able to take these abstract shapes and construct them together so that the Pokemon is very readable. And on top of that, you can see on the panel, she comes up with these different scenes or patterns that have relevance to the Pokemon at hand. I love every single one of these. They're so unique. I don't know which one I would get though. Jiraki? No, it's Jirachi. I'm just being stupid. Or Mewtwo. Probably Mewtwo. And we're going to finish it off with a very unique style that was created by Conio, and it's called bipolar surrealism. So this is Conio, who's a tattoo artist based out of Milan, Italy. So when he meets his client, he gathers a story from them, whether it's a personal story, a mantra, a set of beliefs. So then he takes that story and these ideas just start brewing in his creative mind. After that, he turns them into these super interesting doodles that's a blend of these sketches contrasting with these super vibrant abstract shapes. And you can just see the madness in all the designs, and it's so beautiful. And just to know that there's a whole story behind each one and it leaves it up to these unlimited interpretations, it's incredible. Let me tell you, that's just a couple of them. Trust me, I got plenty more to come. Just a reminder, if you want to see any of my full-length documentaries, you can find them on my YouTube channel. I'm probably going to post about one a month because they take so long to edit, but we're going to start making more and more. We have about 5 more filmed now, and we're going to be cranking out a whole bunch in the upcoming year. Thank you guys again. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next week.